Hello there, this is Kevin Fyneface on Kevin Fyneface Unscripted. Today is the 20th of February 2019 and we're going to be looking at the issues trending in the country of Nigeria, where the president of the country, Muhammadu Buhari, had made mention for the use of force against election riggers or ballot box snatchers. In his words, he said, the military ought to be ruthless. And anyone who tries to snatch ballot box, that would be the last time the person will ever try so. And the talk in town is that was an unprecedented statement being made by the president of a country, a democratically elected country, sounding like a dictator. And the oppositions have also said that, and some legal luminaries had also condemned the president's speech. But the presidency had also come to say the president was right with the words that he used for those who intend to snatch the ballot box. I listened to the presidential spokesperson, Festus Keyamo, who has said that in fact the president is encouraged to repeat that statement again and again because by law, citing the constitution, anyone armed robbery is by sentence to death, and ballot box snatchers are basically using force to take the people's goodwill or common good. So it is right that the president was right to make that statement. What do you think? And that is why we are here today to highlight our views on Kevin Fyneface Unscripted. Now you need to know that Kevin Fyneface Unscripted is a flagship program designed to basically x-ray issues that concerns us that happens every day. Issues that we have to be very objective in our presentation without being partisan, allowing you, the viewers, to see things from the 360-degree perspective so you don't get to go with just one view and be misinformed. And that's what we're going to do after this break. Welcome back. Let's look at it. Was the president right with the statement that he made? Was he really speaking like a president, being the father and someone who has sworn to the laws of the land? When someone is caught to snatch the ballot box, is that a process with which this person will be tried? What are the provisions in the electoral acts concerning those who snatch ballot boxes? Is it in contravention with the constitutional provision as regards to armed robbers? And if you look at ballot box snatchers, the effect of ballot box snatching, what will it do to the people or the nation at large? Especially looking at the presidential election, the forthcoming. Now the president, don't forget, is a stakeholder and a participant in the forthcoming general election. So there's every tendency that he was speaking from a biased mindset. Why did I say so? If he was not involved in the election, probably he would have used words that would have been more assuring but firm in his principle to ensure that no one, no individual or group of person would take the laws in their hands to undermine the collective goodwill of the people. That, I believe, is what is expected of the president to state. Looking at the laws of the land, the president wasn't in the right place to give command to the military. And he said in his word, I have spoken to security agents and the military and I have told them, I've given them go ahead to deal ruthlessly. That is basically resort to self-help by the executive. And it's not something we should encourage as a nation in as much as we intend to want to go further in life. There should be standard with which the laws can function. Why do we have the judiciary if the president will go ahead to give the command to the military to deal ruthlessly with anyone who tries to undermine the electoral process? Is that a statement that is expected from the president of a country? My answer is no. And I know it's also your guess that that's not a good statement to be made by the president of a country. We will now look at the impact of this statement made by the president. What would that translate to on the day of elections? With such kind of statement, wouldn't it give room for the military operatives, the military, the security agencies to count on the fact that this statement was made and abuse such kind of commands? Being the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, security, the police and otherwise, there's every tendency that the military will want to carry out such kind of command because in the military parlance, it's often said, obey before complain. Once a command is given, you don't have any right but to carry out the command. So would there be a way for those that we have seen in the past where military operatives have joined hands in politicians or political parties to undermine the electoral process? We saw that happen in Port Harcourt, River State in Port Harcourt, and River State, where the police was seen helping the opposition to rig the elections, forcing polling officers to do the bidding of their paymaster. We saw also where in Bordeaux, in River State also, where the military made it difficult for voters to truly go and vote and actually dare to some of the electorates. So with such kind of command, we need to have a repeat of such come 2019 on the 23rd of February when the presidential election is going to take place. With the military now everywhere, intimidating voters. What does that affect the electorate for thinking, no, I think I need to be in my home before somebody will deal with me ruthlessly. By so doing, you begin to cause a type of disenfranchisement where the people will not be able to go and vote, and that is, of course, voter apathy. Is that what we need as a country? And I think the president's statement will truly affect the turnout of the electorate come 23rd February 2019, because many will want to sit at home rather than being dealt with ruthlessly. That is unprecedented, and it's time for the president to withdraw that statement. He must have spoken out of sentiments because of the frustration of the inability of the Electoral Commission to conduct the election as earlier scheduled. He must have spoken out of such sentiment. But as the president, he has to have restraints to show to the citizens that he is in charge of the country, and not because of his political interest, neither is it because of his party's interest. That I believe that the president needs to withdraw the statement that he made. We got to look at how this will affect the populace in general. There are about 80 million registered voters who will go cast their vote on the 23rd of February. Now, out of this 80 million registered voters, there's every likelihood that only about 60 will turn out, leaving behind about 25 to 30 million out of the electoral process. For those that will come out to vote, what confidence will they have to come out to vote? We do not necessarily need security to be placed everywhere for elections, and I will tell you why. In my little research that I've done recently, discovering that every PVC comes with embedded biometric features, because for every registrant, you need to thumbprint your 10 fingers in the process. You see, if you must thumbprint your 10 fingers, you must scan your 10 fingers. It means also that for those who will go cast their votes, they will thumbprint on the ballot papers. So we can do forensic analysis of the ballot papers to be sure of the fingerprints on the ballot papers if they match with that which is going to be in the database of the INEC server. If we can do that, then it means that we do not necessarily need security to be everywhere to protect the vote. All the commission needs to do is to take a further step by scanning every ballot paper that will be cast to see that those thumbprints match up with the thumbprints in the database of the voters register. If we do that, then it means that we also reduce the number of security personnel that will be at the polling stations, which also build electors' confidence in coming out for election, knowing that it is going to be absolutely difficult for violence-prone people to come and constitute violence, and for those who will come and snatch ballot boxes. We also realize that the effort of snatching ballot boxes will not go far, because it will not make any difference in the turnout of the votes count. If a ballot box is snatched, automatically the polling officer is given the right to annul such kind of act. So nothing happens in that environment. Oh yes, it will affect the vote count. Maybe an opposition is leading in a particular place, and the ruling party decide to send in their thugs to snatch those ballot boxes. How will it affect How will it affect the result? Yes, what I think is possible we need to do as a country. Before those votes were cast, we had accreditation. We can begin to look at the accreditation list and see those whose interest is for what interest. Because those who are going to vote are only going to vote based on interest. Nobody goes to vote for the purpose of just voting. If we follow things methodologically in that manner, we'll begin to see how we make it very difficult or uninteresting for those who want to constitute violence during elections. That, I believe, is possible. And that's my view on Kevin Fyneface Unscripted. Thank you, and get to see you once more again as we tune in next time, same station, with Kevin Fyneface Unscripted. You two have a good day. And don't forget, these elections is not about conscious party affiliations or personal interests. These forthcoming general elections, the presidential elections especially, is about nationhood. Vote for nationhood and let your conscience be at peace once you vote for nationhood. That way, we'll begin to have an egalitarian society, because the voter's card is the most powerful tool in a democracy. The voter card is the only tool that legitimizes the office and the occupier of that office. Don't let your voter's card become just one card, but let it be the deciding factor that dictates how this country goes and how it is governed in the future, in the now, and forever. Thank you, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.